Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Bowen with Elite Publications, and I just want to personally talk about a young man that's got a project out. I'm here with my co-host and partner, the young lady that's is the international best-selling author, a director for our company. We just wanted to really shout out. I'm excited. We have George here with us today, and we're going to be talking about his book. Hey, Natalie, we've been having fun. George is fantastic. This is an amazing book. We've had a chance to put the cover together, the websites together. So we're ready to make him an international best-selling author.
Yes, we are. George, it's so nice to have you here, and we get to go through this journey with you and see a thought that was in your mind, something that was a little bit of a sore spot for you, come out into a beautiful thing that could literally change the world. So we're glad to have you here. And why don't you tell us, what was the inspiration behind this book?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you and Jesse, because I was at a point I didn't know where to turn or where to go to get this information out, what was in my heart and what was in my mind, so that it could be distributed to a wide mass of people, because of what I feel is one of the most important projects I worked on in a long time. So kudos to you guys for a great direction and giving me an opportunity to work with you in Elite Publication to get this manuscript out. And to answer your question about, the book itself, what inspired me. It's been a 2-year journey since I started. The concept of the idea came to me about the book. And one was because of my past journey as a baseball player, growing up in the 60s, and the experience that I experienced with competing at a very young age and getting up to a level where I wanted to compete professionally. And along that journey, I had an opportunity to coach some teams, and I noticed some similarities in my experience, and the same similarities exist right now in 2023. So, and some of them are very good, and some of them need to be tweaked a little bit just to give the audience and the public and people a good understanding of how baseball and a lack of baseball participation in baseball by African-American players is existing right now. But there's a reason why, and there's some things that we can do to change that, because it's all for the betterment of all of us.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the name of the book. It's The Black and White of Baseball: Overcoming the Bias in Baseball and Life. Like that right there, it shows that you're on the right direction. You want to make a positive change in the world with your experience. Well, that's fantastic.
Yes. First of all, that was a critical point in the book that I wanted to cover throughout the whole book. We have to recognize that we all have biases.
Sure.
How we allow those biases to affect us in our relationships and what we do in life means everything. So we have to learn to move those biases to a position of, first of all, of ownership. I own that I have them, but how do I eliminate those from the decisions that I make that are going to affect other people, especially the youth?
Yeah, and what I would say is sometimes those bias, George, I've learned a lot just talking with you about the subject matter. Sometimes the bias come in form of ignorance and not having that experience where you grow up or who you are. So making that awareness, it can make people realize that maybe all situations aren't equal for all. And if we know that, we can do better.
Absolutely. I totally 100% agree with you, Natalie. And that's one of the whole premises, or some of the details that's in the book that I think that everyone's going to enjoy, because there's some things that we're going to talk about that are going to be really sensitive. Also, there's some eye-opening experiences in the book that we're going to have to take in some aha moments. Right. But also there's some suggestions for change in the book that I think that'll benefit all of us.
So who will benefit from reading the book?
Oh, that's a great question, Jesse. And that was another key point that I wanted to make sure that was involved in the book. Every coach that reads this book will benefit from it. Because coaching, I've been a coach for over 25 years. I've coached, several different sports, including baseball, basketball being my primary sport. But some of the things that I touch on in the book will definitely make us as coaches and coaches throughout the world say, I never thought about it from that perspective before. Maybe I could take a different approach to reach this young person, whether it's an African-American, Hispanic, whether it's Asian, Caucasian, whomever. What is the approach that I'm taking applicable to this individual situation? Because we're all different. And if we try to treat each and every person the same, we'll miss the boat every time. Every parent that reads this book is now going to become enlightened. What options do I have? Because sometimes parents get into a situation and they don't know where to turn, who to turn to, or even know that they have different alternatives or options to deal with the situation that they're encountering. And every kid who feels hopeless because they've encountered a situation that they have no clue of how to deal with it and how to respond to some situations that they find themselves in, some positive and some negative. And so this, I hope, will be an inspiration, and I know it'll be an inspiration to a lot of young people. And it also changed the mindset of us as an industry, whether it's, like I said, it crosses every boundary. The book is based on baseball, but the principles that are involved in the book cross all lines of sport and even in your personal lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking of when you're a parent and you see your child go through something like this, it tends to come out, I'm sure, in anger. Like I remember when my daughter was playing volleyball and sometimes seeing her sit on the bench and the player on the field should have been, or on the court should have been pulled off a long time ago, but they were the popular,
Right.
So I can't even imagine bringing other cultural reasons into it. So yeah, every parent needs to read this, every child, knowing what they could do, knowing how to make changes and inspire just a better understanding.
Yes, and that's one of the things we want to do. We want to inspire and encourage, and we want to make sure that everyone knows that they have power. They have a power that they don't know exists, but it's there for them. They just got to know what it is and how to turn it on and how to use it.
Absolutely.
Well, that really comes down to the question, why is it important every coach reads the book?
Well, there's a story behind the cover of the book, and I don't, and it's really funny because when I wrote this book, it wasn't my intent to use the photograph of the kids that were in that particular photo. And it just so happened that I had a conversation with the coach that's to the left, in the top left corner, about Black and white issues. I was at a practice one day and I saw some things. I had been knowing this coach for a couple of years. But there were some things that kind of were stirring inside of me that I thought were a little bit off or maybe needed to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. So after the practice was over with, I had a conversation with that coach, and it turned out that he didn't even realize some of the things that he was saying or some of his actions and how they were affecting the minority kids on the team. Sure. He was just coaching. He was just trying to do his job. Yep. And so we go home after the conversation. I get a phone call from him. We talk, and we had one of the most engaging, personal, heartfelt conversations I've ever had with a coach in sharing his mindset with and what he was trying to accomplish, how he appreciated my honesty and what I told him about that interactions and some of those interactions he was having. And we became the best of friends. And it just so happened, I think I said, Elite publication, probably 40 pictures that we were trying to use, that I had in mind to use. And out of every picture, they chose that picture. They helped me choose that picture for this book.
That's
And
awesome.
it just shows how the circle of life comes about. And they knew none of this story about myself and that coach. And I can't wait for him to see the cover of this book. I can't wait. He has no clue. And I can't wait for him to see this, because it speaks to the fact that when we're honest with one another and we're open,
Right.
and we share our biases with each other, that it doesn't have to end in frustration, anger, madness, separation of relationships. It actually brought us closer together as people. And I can't wait for him to see this book and read the book, and for him to see himself on the cover, and you know, like I said, the circle of life.
That's awesome. That's incredible. So everyone needs to get a copy of this book. George has it down below. So go down, get your copy. It is coming soon. As soon as it's live, you will be mailed your copy out. So what a wonderful thing that could change, you know, change how sports and kids and coaches all get along and make a better industry.
Well, the thing about your book, when you read it, there's something for everyone in it. It's not just about baseball. It's really about life. When you get down to, you know, what is this book really about? It's really about life. So therefore, everyone can benefit from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everyone, go down below, get your copy now, and reach out to your kids' coaches, the coaches at school. Get this in the hands of the people that can really make a difference. And then reach out to George and give George feedback. That's how authors do better and better and make the world a better place. So if you have a story, then come to us, and Elite Publications will help you make an international bestseller like George.
Thank you very much.